Hey,
Hey,
right.
hi, welcome Showiteers. Welcome to Showit Live on showiteer.com.
Good morning.
Showiteer stuff. I'm Field Denny. This is the amazing JT or Jefferson Todd Pals. How are we doing today?
Doing wonderful.
Yeah,
It's a lovely balmy day out.
it is
in
kind of
Arizona,
balmy.
so.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. Well, we're both wearing red today.
We are. I don't know why you're wearing red. I think people can clearly see why I'm wearing red.
Well, I'm wearing red in honor of our guest today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, often goes by Cinnamon. It's his street name, street cred. Hashtag Cinnamon.
So that's why you're wearing red?
That's why I'm wearing red. I was looking in my closet at all. I have way too many shirts. So I was looking in my closet at all of my shirts, and I saw red, and I was like, Cinnamon. I need to wear red for Jason Toevs.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Jason Toevs is on the show.
Yep.
We're super excited about that.
Yeah, he's going to go over basically some mobile stuff, some design stuff. He's one of our design partners.
Yes.
So a huge shout out to him and all the other design partners out there. So yeah, we're going to go over some of that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. We also have some other fun things in the works here.
Do we see you've got it all planned out? I don't even know what's really going on in the show.
Planned out. I have some stuff to chat about. So we have you're here on showiteer.com. On the left-hand side over here is this nice little chat window where you can log in and share messages. It's like AIM chat.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Back in the day. If you know what AIM chat was, kudos to you. Woo. Woot woot. And also, if you had an AIM chat name that was super awesome, I say you throw it down. We vote on who had the greatest AIM chat name. Do you remember yours?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was just like a bunch of numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I can't remember what. I mean, mine. I had this ridiculous nickname in high school.
But the point of this though is to log into chat.
To log into chat. Yeah.
So
and share your AIM
join
chat
the conversation with us and stuff.
Yeah. So you can ask questions of Jason. We'll be talking about some mobile design stuff, which is kind of the hot topic around here. There's this update that I keep hearing about that's going to be coming out to Showit. Where you'll be able to do vertical designs for specifically for mobile. So we'll be talking about that. So if you have questions, this is the place.
It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. On top of that, here on showiteer.com, we have a featured article that I wanted to pull up. It is how to photograph wedding dresses. So there are many people who use Showit who are in the wedding industry. They're wedding photographers, and so this is kind of one of those important things. We have a new contributor, Catherine Andrews. Awesome. She's from the UK. She's our first international contributor,
Sweet.
Which I think is super awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so you can go through, read some of her tips and tricks on photographing a wedding dress, some of the fun things that she does, the locations, why it's important, different backdrops, composition, and then I love this part where she's also pairing it with other images, which is great for blog posts.
I really like how she has the article broken down, like for the different kind of steps or things that you need to think about when photographing a wedding dress and stuff. So.
Yep. And then at the very bottom, since she's a new contributor, I recommend reading her about author. You can find out a little bit more about Catherine Andrews, but super excited to have her involved, and it was a great post. Thanks to Caitlin Hebert who got that going and got Catherine involved. I think that's awesome. That's great. Now, this other thing, you actually may know a little bit more about this than I do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm once again
I know about this one.
You know about this.
So today you may have gotten an email. If you didn't, you can go to showiteer.com and enter to win a free ticket to Sighthouse's Go Live workshop in August.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the Sighthouse Go Live workshop.
So the Go Live workshop is a 2-day workshop, and you get to choose one of the Sighthouse style groups, and you work as a group. There's typically like 8 to 10 people that show up for the workshop, and you in those 2 days get your site launched and completed by the end of the workshop and stuff. But you get some awesome stuff, including like time with Promise to really get like a design consultation with her on like where you should take that style group based upon like what your branding is and everything like that and stuff. So it's an awesome thing. I have myself been to 2 of them, and it's been an awesome experience for people to just at the end of it feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I've got it done in 2 days. Which otherwise, if you've gone through the process of like working on your own without kind of any guidance, it can take a month, 2 months to get a website launched and stuff. So it really is an awesome thing, and they are giving away one free ticket to the Go Live conference. It is in Rancho Cucamonga, California, so you do need to be able to get there on August 19th and 20th.
Planes travel to the general vicinity.
They do.
So that would be one way.
Ontario California Airport, if you need to look it up.
Look at that. That's a lot more information.
And if you don't win, you should still consider going to either that one or they'll be planning another one later on in the year.
And I think it's super great that they're doing this. They're giving away one free ticket. That's it's about a $1,400 value.
Yes,
that's
huge.
That's substantial.
Yeah.
So if you didn't receive the email, go ahead to showitdesign.com. Check it out. Here's the article. At the end of the show, we'll post it to the bottom of the link just so you can see it. But it is kind of time sensitive.
It is. It ends tomorrow night.
And then the workshop is actually the 19th and 20th.
Yeah, and we're going to announce the winner on Thursday.
Ooh. So this is very time sensitive.
Very time sensitive. So Thursday morning at the 10 a.m. show, we are switching Thursdays from 3 p.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be announcing the winner of the contest.
Yeah, so that's like 3 announcements today. We got the how to photograph dresses, the Go Live workshop, and we're switching Thursdays from 3 p.m. to 10 a.m.
Correct.
We said it online. Now we have to do it. That's the way that works. So let's see. Did we have? I didn't know if we had one of these today. If we had anything specific, I didn't pull.
I don't think so. I think the whole topic's going to be kind of covering that.
Yeah. So, in the words of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, we're going to get on with it.
Yes.
Get on with it. And bring in Jason Toevs.
Yeah.
So Jason Toevs, welcome to the show.
Let's see, we're bringing him in here.
It's just magic, the touch screen. No. We have the ability to manipulate the touch screen, but it's mostly a touch screen. I'll hide those. There we go. So welcome, awesome. Jason. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So we're here to talk a little bit about some mobile design elements and all that fun stuff. So why don't you give me a little background? You've been working with the mobile design for a little bit now.
Yeah, well, ever since the first beta came out, we've been tearing it up inside there and just kind of pushing the limits to see how we can break it and provide feedback to show it. And we've really come up with a few tips and tricks that I'm excited to share with you guys today. And it's been fun to see how this adds so much value to all of the Showit sites. I mean, finally, for a designer, from my perspective, I love the idea of having 2 different sites, a mobile site and a desktop, because you can convert clients so much better with a tailored mobile site. I mean, it's going to add massive value to people's websites.
For cheesy, you've been in there one of the main contributors within the beta group, been getting it done, and we actually are going to, after we talk about it a little bit today, we'll be able to pull up some sites that you've designed for mobile and kind of showcase and maybe even explain why you've done some of the things you've done, because I think that becomes a huge portion. JT and I did a show about a month ago. I don't know if it was quite a month ago, where we talked about maybe some reasons for the design elements that you'd want in mobile versus desktop. So we can kind of go through some of those as well. Good.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. So
I'm excited. I know you guys are excited.
Yeah, we're kind of excited. We're pretty excited.
We are waiting to see what everyone's going to come up with. We're super excited.
That's one of the real fun
things. See all the amazing mobile designs that are going to come out from everybody and stuff, and especially from designers like you.
Well, yeah, thank you. And I tell you what, it's been so cool to see how the beta has transformed to make it an easy workflow. I mean, I'm excited to see how people get in there themselves and jump in and really take their own site by the horns, because it's not hard. I mean, you can convert it straight over to a mobile style group, and you can start rearranging your layout, and with some planning and a little forethought and maybe some design tips that I can offer, it's going to be cool to see how people make their site truly unique.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, while you're talking about that, you mentioned planning.
Right.
Do you have any specific like planning tips on how people should prepare before they dive in and get kind of overwhelmed maybe with the process of just not knowing where to go yet?
Right. So it's kind of like when we all start our own websites, there's a little bit of planning that should go into it. I remember when I built my first one, it was just kind of throw everything on the page and let it evolve, which is not bad, but as we've gotten better at designing sites, we really have found that planning from the beginning can save you a lot of time in designing. So with the mobile side of things, the big planning pieces are really, how do you want to convert people? Like, where are you trying to push people on your page? Because it's going to be different than a desktop design. We have people on mobile devices, and you have that inherent, fast scrolling down your phone mentality. So you really have to capture people in as little as 9 seconds. I mean, those are some of the studies we've read on mobile conversions are around 9 seconds. You have to captivate them.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and so with that, you have to give them a place to go pretty much straight off the bat and show off those pictures beautifully. I know as we get into some of the sites we designed a little bit later, I can show that, but it's really important to know where you want to convert people, whether that's a form or you want to take them to your contact page or you want to direct them to, like for us, we built a case study out. And so we had a page where we wanted to direct people to another site where they could view our case study. Okay. And so creating those elements that really pop off the page and are visible kind of from the get-go are very important in those conversion rates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I actually have the mobile case study app thing pulled up here. So toeblokesdesign.com is your site. And if you do /mobile-case-study, you can get to the site. But yeah, view free analytics case study, jump right in.
So can anybody get this case study then?
Yeah. What we did is we asked a few of the show tiers to give us access to their Google Analytics backend, and then we did kind of a breakdown for each one of them, sent them their own information. And then we averaged all of that data, and so it's an anonymous case study, and we put that information up in kind of an infographic site. We wanted to do it on the mobile side so people could see how that case study infographic page looks like on the mobile end. So if you jump on Field, you've got that link. You could put it up in the chat or something. But we just have people jump to that page, fill out your name and email for our newsletter. For more case study information, or we want to do that as kind of a new thing, providing information about this mobile and conversion rates and what that really means. And then it'll redirect you to the actual case study page, and that will show you some of the data that we found and really what that means for mobile versus desktop design.
Awesome. That's great. Because everyone's kind of wondering like what to expect when it comes to mobile and stuff, and it's kind of a different beast in a way. The internet
really is.
Kind of has to adapt a little differently to mobile uses and stuff. So that's awesome that you did a case study. Are these specifically with photographer websites?
Yeah, right. So it's with Showit websites at this point. And it was actually quite fascinating because from our study, everyone's pretty much in the same boat. So it wasn't too surprising, I guess. But we noticed for us, since we started 3 years ago, our mobile traffic has gone up by 400%.
Ooh.
So we're at about 30% of our total traffic right now is on mobile devices. And up until a couple weeks ago, we didn't have a site designed to convert that traffic. Okay. So we were seeing bounce rates close to 70% on that traffic. So 1/3 of our users were just pretty much leaving. And that can be a real detriment to anyone, really.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so Elisa McCormick commented on your awesome velvet background.
Thank you.
You look like you're on stage at a high school, and I think it's super awesome.
At a high school?
Well,
High schools have in the auditorium, that's where we put on plays.
If I pulled this curtain away, I'm actually at, this is my office, if you will, on stage at an old elementary school that's been converted to engineering building.
Oh,
and
really?
So,
wow.
Yeah, there's a machine shop out on the other side of the gym and an office with a break room. The guys are actually at lunch, so it's kind of fun. It provides me with a different place to work when I need to.
Yeah, that's cool.
See, I wasn't far off.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah. Actually in a school.
Yep. Done. Look at that.
On a stage, nonetheless.
Bring it around.
Awesome.
Bring it around. So, another thing we wanted to show off was on the mobile side. On the mobile side, so you were talking about your mobile conversion rate, and how now you have the site that's able to actually it's designed specifically to convert people over.
Bring up this site.
Yeah, I forgot to get you that one. Blokes. Yeah, Blokesdesign.com. So I wanted to showcase that off here. Showcase that off. Show that off, or showcase it. I could combine the two.
Just show it, right?
Just show it. Just show it. We wanted to show it. So yep,
Nice.
here
So
it is.
Here it is.
So we have your mobile design pulled up, and JT immediately started scrolling.
I want to see what's at the bottom.
I know, right? That's just kind of the way this goes. So yeah, at the bottom we have what is it? The contact info.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
That's
perfect.
an awesome idea to just have the contact form at the bottom of the page.
It really is. I like it. I like it a lot. Because that's I'm an avid user of mobile devices, and when I go to websites, I'm often like, oh, whoop whoop whoop. I'm one of those. I'm probably the target. I'm probably the reason for that 9-second window where you have to gain somebody's attention, and
It's that quick scroll. It's like
quick scroll.
does something catch their attention with imagery and stuff? Because really, when you're scrolling super fast, you can't see necessarily the text super clear on any page. But if you can capture them with an image that really draws them in, then that can really do.
That's right.
Yep.
And we're really seeing that in a lot of different social media platforms. We're entering what I would consider the age of visual marketing. And for photographers, this is awesome, because last year was kind of content marketing, making sure that you have this really well-polished content that can be tracked in Google and SEO and all that. But this year, especially with the Instagram rates, if you guys look into that, I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but it does play into how you build your mobile site by providing big pictures, easy text for people to see and just capture them. On our page, we do have some informational text, so what would be paragraph text, and that's to explain for the people who really want to know. But you can see on our mobile design that we've also included like a big blue bar with Explore Custom One-Day Websites, and that's to capture that person who is going through at 9 seconds a page, and to get them to the next page, to get them into the rest of our website flow, so that we can push them to where we want to convert.
Yep.
Awesome. And actually, speaking of converting, Jeremy Kester had a question on what do you mean by conversion?
Conversion, hey, that's a great question. So what conversion means to us is when people visit your site, knowing what you want them to do right before they leave. Okay. So the conversion is the step they complete right before they leave your site. Now, if that's filling out a contact form, if that's viewing an article on a blog, or whatever that looks like, maybe even clicking on your Instagram button or your social media icons on your page, whatever your conversion that you want them to do is usually the last step, the last thing they do on your website.
Okay. And so that's one reason that at the bottom of your page you put the contact form, because that's kind of where you're wanting them to convert.
Right, exactly. And it's a good thing to note here with that is bounce rates measured by Google Analytics usually take into account when people visit only one page of your site. So it's important to have at least a few pages deep. So for us, we have our contact page there on the home screen, but we don't necessarily need them to convert there. what I would really like them to do is to explore a custom one-day website process, or to see what happens during that day. So that's why I've ordered it the way I did, so that they can first hit our portfolio, more or less, by exploring what custom one-day websites we've built, and then further on down the page, if they don't really need to check out our websites or sold on the idea, they just want to know what happens on that day, then they can click on that big bar across the screen and go directly into that process. And on both of those pages, we direct them into our contact form for more information if they want it.
Okay, awesome.
Now, we have a couple other really good questions here that have come up.
Okay.
Elisa McCormick asked, "How long can I expect it to take me to build my mobile site?" So I think that's a pretty big question. It really depends. Yeah. There's a lot of different things, but I mean, on average, and this gets a little tricky because
you're asking a designer, perfectionist.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Remember,
right now. Yeah.
Remember that when we build sites, we are completely tailoring them to our clients. We're making sure that we meet their goals and their needs, and we go back and do revisions too. So it's not, I mean, Elisa, that's an awesome question, and it's a little unfair, I guess, to ask a designer. But in my experience as a perfectionist, we're taking about 5 hours to design and convert over mobile sites. We've done a couple already for a few old clients. We also did Jordan and Amy's, which we'll share a little bit later. But for our own site, for example, it took me a little bit longer because I was playing around with it. I really didn't know how I wanted it laid out, and I worked with it. Now, to be fair, I did a complete site redesign with that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a conversion.
There's a bit more involved, and we've seen we've got our beta users for the mobile, and we've seen them take 1 to 2 hours doing it themselves and stuff, and it really just can vary based upon like how much they want to convert over. Is it every single page of their site, or is it just some stuff? And so that's, I think, where the planning comes in.
Yeah.
But and how much, determining like what's appropriate to include and whatnot, because you don't include everything on your mobile site that you have on your desktop. And maybe you can talk about why that is, that you kind of provide like lesser information for mobile.
Right. Well, and it really boils back down to that whole idea of conversion and engagement, where you want people to convert and how you want them to engage after they've converted, or where are they going after your website, basically. So for us, the mobile sites really do need to be trimmed down a bit for most people, because you're really accomplishing something on a small platform, so a phone or a tablet. It's usually people who are on the go, if that's the case. I mean, if they want to see your site while they're sitting down at their home or at their office, they'll visit your website. Not very many people pull out their phone while they're sitting in front of their computer and say, "Oh, I want to go visit this website," right? Yeah. And so we're really catering to people on the go who want to get information quickly. And so figuring out what information they want from your site and how you want to complete that process is really why we pare things down. And even on Jordan and Amy's site, we removed probably maybe 50% of their navigation in their pages, because we wanted to create a very streamlined flow to get people to contact them, and then also further on down the line to get involved with them on Instagram.
Okay. So they're kind of guiding them to Instagram in a way? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they're two exit points, basically, where we wanted to push people off of their site.
Okay.
So either once they converted on the contact page, or if they had converted before on the contact page and they're a returning visitor, we wanted to connect them with two things. Their blog, first of all, and if they were going to connect on social media, we wanted them to connect with them on Instagram.
Okay.
So they can get their Demos sandwich fix, their Demos invasion, the Demos education,
awesome.
There's the Demos ice cream sandwich, which is a little more rare, but has happened on multiple occasions. No, and I think that's key, right? There's multiple things that you said there that were great. Yeah, talking about your conversion, it really depends on what you as your business wants to put out there, right? That's the point.
Right.
It's what I want people to click when they think of our company. Where do I want to send them? For a lot of people, it is becoming Instagram. For others, it's their blog, right? And for some, it's both. But it really just kind of depends. There's a lot of people who have a lot of great information on their blog geared towards a completely different audience.
Yeah.
Right. Jamie, I've been doing that all day. Amy and Jordan have the 4 photographers, their education piece on their blog, which is a lot different than what their brides are going to see on an everyday basis on their Instagram account. So I mean, that's kind of, I'm just using them as an example. We talked about.
No, it's great to think about. You got to think through all those different things.
And that's where, Elisa, it can turn into a couple-hour process. I mean, as far as just your conversion, like your site to to a mobile site, that can take some people as little as 30 minutes, depending on their content. But yeah, most people it's that hour to 2 hour range. But then you're going to kind of be going back into it and saying, okay, is this really necessary? Yeah. Where do I want to point people as we're learning this process together? I'm speaking on behalf of Showit users as we're learning this process together because it's a new process for us. It really will be something that we come back to, much like the process of designing our website.
We've got Lainey, who converted hers in an hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she was able to get that done. On the other hand, we have Jeremy Kester, who has been taking 12 days to decide where to start.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually not a bad. He may be joking a little bit there, but there's probably some real sincerity behind that. It is one of those things that you look at and it's like, okay, well, how, if you are, redesigning your site for mobile, for some people, I mean, for Showit users like us, we've been using Showit for 5 years. It's very different to design for a vertical layout than it is to design for our standard landscape layout. And so really, we've done our own sites for years, and so really to change, that's a big change. You can't just go and it's fixed. Hey. It is one of those things that you should take a lot of thought and consideration into.
Yeah, and I find like myself, even doing tons of sites and design work, if I don't have a plan, I get lost in it, and I end up spending like 4 times the amount of time versus like if I spend a little time beforehand, plan it out, and boom, I get in, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I get it done. Stuff. So hopefully, Jeremy, you can figure out where you're going to go with it and get it planned out and started and stuff. So
Jeremy's a super smart guy. I'm sure he'll get it figured out for us.
If I could share three questions, maybe, Jeremy, you can ask yourself when you're thinking out your site, and this goes for everybody. The 3 questions would be, where do I want to convert people? So what page on my site do I want people to, whether it's filling out a form or viewing a page, and then the next thing they do is to leave your site. Where do you want to convert people? The second one would be, how do you want people to engage with you after they've converted? So if it's a contact form, sending them to a thank you page that says, hey, check out our Instagram account or go view our blog. Like, how do you want that engagement to look like after your site? And the third one would be, how much scrolling do you want? Because that really determines, when you jump into it, how long you set your page pixels. I think we're typically, a long site would be like 5,000 pixels. A shorter site would be maybe around 2,000. And we're going to be doing some articles for showit.com that go through a lot of the font sizes that work best for mobile, the page parameters and dimensions that work best for whether it's an iPad or iPhone. And they default set really well, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But if you want to do some other pieces or you want to make longer pages, we'll be writing some articles in depth hopefully this next week for you guys who are interested in that.
Very cool.
Yeah, and speaking of articles, you actually have one that went live like almost
right now.
Coincides with the show. Yeah, it just went live a couple minutes ago, and it's the first look at the new Showit vertical mobile design. So it's kind of an insider's look for those people who aren't involved in the beta right now. But you go through some great tips, some of the stuff that we're talking about here today. but also some of the features that you love, and then you talk about planning your site, and then 3 awesome tips to save you time, which I think is great. So definitely something to check out for those of you who, whether you're in the beta group or you're not.
If you're not, the email that just went out had a sign up. If you'd like to become a beta tester, you can sign up, and then we are periodically inviting people into the beta test.
Yeah. So as it kind of becomes, I was going to say available, but I mean it's available. Hop in there, get involved if you're not involved already, and then you can kind of get a head start on all of this before the update comes out.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's fun because on that Facebook group of the new beta testers, I'm in there a lot, helping answer questions if you guys have them. You can connect with me on Facebook, whether it's tagging me in a post on Showit or Blokes Design. We have a Facebook page, or just even private messaging me. I don't really reply to those very well because they get lost. So if you tag me somewhere, then it keeps popping up like so-and-so's commented. Yeah. That's the best way.
And that's actually a really good thing to bring up. Now the beta group was it was a secret until you just announced it to the world.
Sorry.
But one of the great things about Showit has always been that there's this community to fall back on and ask questions about, specifically with Showit, so your web design and any questions you have. So if you're in on the beta, obviously not everybody's in on the beta, and so the Showiteers group. Somebody just asked a question there earlier today, and it's not the best place for those questions right now yet until the update's out and everybody has the ability to go in and view it. But it's key to know that we're just not throwing you to the wolves, and it's kind of you on your own. We do have a great resource for the people who are in the beta group to ask questions and get some great answers. A lot of our design, I think all of our design partners are in there, which is fantastic. JT's in there all the time. This guy Todd, who we're finding video of him rubbing 2 ice cubes together to make a fire. He can do it. He can do it. Yeah, he can do it. So there's video of it. So it's on Christian's old phone, but we're gonna get that. But there's a lot of great people in that group that are there to help other beta users. So if you're scared that you'll be in there alone, don't be. We'll be there holding your hand throughout the whole process, answering any questions that you may have.
And Jason's probably in there even more than us. He's always working on mobile designs.
It's true. It's true. It's kind of like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, it really does change the way, and I can't emphasize this enough. Like, I've seen some posts of people asking about the 2 sites, and I love it. I think it's probably the best thing to happen because you can now tailor those 2 sites. You can convert people much better. We're offering all of our website visitors a much better experience, and that's going to benefit any business. It doesn't matter if you're in photography or design or wedding planning. It's going to help everybody out.
Now, you're talking about the difference between like having a site like auto-configure and kind of fit everything on a mobile device versus like creating a separate mobile experience.
Exactly, and it's okay. Like for people out there who are wondering how close do I have to keep my site to my desktop? Your branding is going to do the work for you, and your layout needs to be different, honestly, because on mobile you have so many different options. And there's better ways to convert people, like those long scrolling pages. There's great ways to convert people, and you have to up the font size. So there's things that you can do to really impact your mobile experience for your visitors that I believe will convert a lot more of everyone's site visitors.
I often try and help explain it to people. There's this application out there called Facebook. It's a web application. If you go on your desktop, you have all of this additional information. You have menus on the left. You have menus and chat on the right. You can see what your friends are doing, which is, I think, an invasion of privacy. There's all sorts of great things, different settings you can select, all from the main page. And then you go to the mobile site, and it's just the simplest form of the experience. They're even taking away Messenger. Which
they're not trying to pack everything that they have on the desktop into that mobile screen.
Yeah. So when I'm explaining it to people, I often, other people have heard of Facebook, and so I often use that as the example of the desktop version of your site versus a mobile version of your site. Different experience, different driving points, different conversion points.
Yeah.
So that's useful. Let's showcase one of these fantastic sites that you did. JT has it pulled up on his phone, which I think is super awesome. This is the amyandjordan.com, which is Amy and Jordan Demos, the DMI.
I'll go for the HD widescreen. We'll go like this.
Yeah. Well, show. I mean, both. I think it looks amazing in both. Oh, but yeah, just to kind of show some of the content.
That way you can easily read this text on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think one of the first things people will notice when they go to that site is we took out their navigation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where is it?
Like, exactly. We wanted to push people through a very tailored experience. And in order to do that, we want to give them pictures to click on, big buttons to click on, things that they can go through the page in a certain flow. And when Jordan and Amy and I were working on that, we got our plan together. We figured out how we wanted to convert people, where we wanted to engage them afterwards, and we went with it. And it's probably going to be different than what a lot of people do with their sites. And I'm not saying that having a menu or a navigation at the top is bad. Like, you can do a lot of awesome things with that. But for this site, we really wanted to tailor it specifically to their goals and what they wanted to do with it. And so that's what we did.
Yeah, I think talking about how you want to capture somebody really fast right away on a mobile, using like big images as the buttons is an awesome idea. And I think it looks great. I think the whole page is filled with color and just really works well.
And their users are going to be able to determine straight off the bat, because they have their images right there on their homepage, whether or not they like the images. I mean, they see them as buttons, they see them in the galleries and the portfolios, they see Amy and Jordan straight away. They've got that bottom kind of footer to connect on Instagram. That's on every page. And so they know who their photographers are, what they're going to look like, what their photos are going to look like, and they can connect on that emotional level really quickly.
This is really, really cool. And I see you have a video on the experience page.
Yep.
There. You've got like a scrolling gallery of people with their quotes right on the image.
Yep.
Stuff. This is really cool. And then, so to get back to the homepage, you just click on their logo, which it's pretty intuitive. You don't have to have a menu to do that.
That's pretty standard across most sites, and we felt it was intuitive enough for people to be able to do that. But that gives them a hub. Like that homepage, you have those 4 different boxes that you can click on: weddings, the experience, meet us, and engagements. And so, just by clicking on their logo, you can go back to that hub and then take maybe a new path into that contact form. So if you click on weddings, for example, it's going to take you straight to that weddings portfolio page, and really that's where brides are going to connect.
Okay.
So yeah, we tried to tailor each flow of traffic off of that main hub, and right there when you get to the weddings page, you see their photos, their images, and then right below it's a contact form. If they love the images already, hey, why not get in touch? And then right below that is connecting them to the blog and on Instagram if they've already filled out that contact form. And if not, once they fill out the contact form, it's going to take them to a thank you page that will then have the same layout of blog and connecting people on Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Perfect. Super awesome site. Yeah, I love it. Immediately takes them to Instagram, which is great. Yeah,
I'm already surfing on Instagram.
I know. This is the way it goes.
I'm already lost in photos.
Watch out. There's a Demo sandwich.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Watch out. So let's check one more time through the questions, see if there were any other questions before I ask Jason the question.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh, so Jeremy was asking, and Elisa was asking as well. Have you done the thing where you can make a phone call linkable? So where you link and then it prompts you to call the person.
I have not done that yet.
I actually have.
Okay, you have?
I have.
field has.
Yeah, I have. It's actually really simple.
Super easy.
Super easy. You type in the number, or you could say call us or contact us, or however you'd like to lay that out. If you don't want just your phone number laid out on the internet, you can come up with a more creative way to say that. But yeah, so then you select the text box in Showit, and then over on the right-hand side, when you're in your advanced properties and there's a link, you will link to a URL. Yep. And instead of typing in the URL, you type in tel, T-E-L, colon, hard colon, not one of those semicolons. This is a full-blown colon. So tel, colon, space. Here in the U.S., you do the number 1 because we are the greatest country in the world.
It needs the country code.
Yeah, it needs the country code. We're number 1. I didn't make that up. It's just the way that every other country got together, decided to make America number 1, because it is. So the number 1, a dash, your area code, another dash, your prefix, a dash, and then your...
Yeah, and I don't think you have to have the dashes in there.
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
I did it by the book, and it worked.
Probably is good to.
I would do it by the book. Yeah. So I did the dashes. Now that doesn't mean that it has to display the dashes on your site, but that's just how you do the link, and then done, publish, click. It'll pop up on an iOS device. It gives you that little clear window. Do you really want to call? You should call. Yep. Fantastic and so easy. Yeah. So easy a field could do it.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Sounds like
it might be.
Sounds like a good thing to put up on showit.com field.
It may be. It may be. Maybe somebody who can actually read and or write would be able to put that. So were there any other questions before I get to the questions?
I do not.
Attempt.
Elisa was wondering if there are style groups available for mobile. And right now, if you're a beta user, there are not any style groups included in the Showit beta version right now. But we will have some available that are going to match the style groups that are already in Showit. And I think there's some designers that are working on some mobile style groups. Is that correct? Are you working?
We're working on stuff. We've got a few in the works we're polishing up. Okay. And I know the Tonic guys, Jeff and Jen, they are working on some pretty sweet style groups. So those are in the works for those of you who have Tonic style groups or maybe looking for something different. We're working on some as well. And so they're coming.
Yeah. Awesome. I love style groups. I think they're fantastic templates.
Make things fun.
Make things so good. Well, and here's the benefit of doing them with Showit is, you get a style group. You're like, okay, yeah, that's cool. It doesn't necessarily match my branding. I just kind of like the layout and the way this works. You can change anything and everything with it and just keep the parts that you absolutely love. So I'm a huge fan. I think it's great that you guys are developing those for mobile, too. I think they'll be a huge help for people, specifically for the people who may not have a couple hours to go into it or 12 days to think about where to start. But I think it'll be great. I think that's a huge, useful tool for our users, and I think it's JT's trying out the tell feature here. Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
I don't know. I mean, it was just the 888. You can throw my number in there. I don't care if the internet knows my number.
Let's see if I can get this here.
He's got it. Yeah, he's already is. Yeah.
I don't know if that's really. Yeah, that's not really what we're wanting. There we go. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay. So we should have it available on the screen now.
He was showing people how you were doing it. Yeah.
So going back just a step, and I can probably zoom this in a little bit more. If you have a link on your site, like here we have Call Me, then you go to the link tab and you open a URL and type in TEL : and then the number.
Yeah.
The number sequence.
And you notice that he used the dashes.
I did use the dashes just because you told me that it was probably best to use the dashes. So. For those that need to see it visually, that's how to set that.
That's how it's done. Yeah, and I think that there probably will be an article written about that by somebody. And yeah, definitely something good to feature. Any other questions before we get to the question?
I don't believe so.
Dead air, Jason.
But you have a question for Jason. Is that
I have a question for Jason Toevs.
Okay.
So Jason, here on the show, we like to play a little fun thing called Would You Rather. Yeah. Have you ever played Would You Rather?
I have played that.
So here on the show, it's a little different. It's not your standard just, hey, would you rather eat hot dogs or potato chips? That's just no. That's just ridiculous. So they're a little tougher questions, and because they are tougher questions, you get to actually ask us 3 qualifying questions. In most cases, it's important to use those questions because there is a right and a wrong answer.
I have gotten it wrong before.
He has gotten it wrong. He's also gotten it right, though.
Yes.
Yeah. He chose to, what was it, only eat potato salad instead of sneezing coleslaw. Sneezing coleslaw was the correct answer.
Yeah.
It was the most pure form of coleslaw. He could have been able to sell it and make millions of dollars.
Oh, man.
Or hundreds of dollars. Either way. I mean, there's a market for sneezed coleslaw.
All right, so let's.
So would you rather? So here's your would you rather question. Would you rather live one life that spanned 1,000 years? You probably shouldn't show that. So there's all sorts of questions. Would you rather have one life that lasted 1,000 years long, or would you rather live out 10 lives that were 100 years long?
Oh my goodness, boy.
How would interesting.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Can I die in those lives?
Yes. Yes. So here's the thing. In the 10 lives that are 100 years long, you can die early.
Ah.
But you get 10. It's like a cat. You're not guaranteed to live.
You could live up to 100 in each one of those lives, but it's like playing Super Mario. It's like, you don't know how. Yeah, you don't know how long you're going to end, and all of a sudden you fall down a hole or
gone.
Yeah, there's holes everywhere, everywhere. Now in the 1,000-year life, though, you're guaranteed that 1,000.
Okay.
Guaranteed 1,000 years.
So you have to live 1,000 years. That would be a long life.
Now it's not like you're immortal. It just so happens that you've made the correct life choices and you don't like dodge traffic or anything like that.
So my second qualifying question, in that 1,000 years, does the rest of humanity continue going on as well?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you're talking like, is there an end game in sight? Yes. This is 1,000 years of continued existence for humanity.
I feel like there's a movie or TV show that just came out like this.
I don't know. If there is, they turned it into a would you rather question.
with Tom Cruise, I once saw that.
Oh yeah. But he's living like the same day over and over again. Or something.
Yeah,
it's like Groundhog Day, but taken to the next level and less funny.
Okay. Third qualifying question. Oh boy. What do I want to ask?
Oh man.
In those 100-year slots, do I come back to life right after I die? So if I die on year 56, do I come back to life on 56?
As a baby?
As a baby?
Yes, as a baby.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, that's so. Let me make sure I have
your. Do you come back as a baby, or do you come back as the age that you died at?
So is that your question, or is your question? Like,
that's my question. Do I come back when I died, like as at 56 years old, or do I come back as 0?
You come back as 0. So and here's where this kind of comes into play. Your memories, everything are still there. Your knowledge of whatever you learned in that previous life.
You are the smartest baby
still
ever.
Applies. Yeah. Now that being said,
can't speak.
That being said, you still don't get to eat solid foods for 6 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Oh man, I wish I had another qualifying question.
No, that's it. Those are your 3. Those are your 3. That's why this isn't call.
I'm gonna go with 1,000 years.
Oh. I mean,
because as a math major, I know the power of exponential growth with money.
Ooh.
And over 1,000 years, that's a lot of interest.
That's true. Otherwise, you'd be resetting every time as a baby.
That is
right.
that is true. That really is true, and that's a very, very good point. The correct answer is one life over 100 years, or what? 10? Yeah, 10-year 100. It's actually you got it wrong. I'm sorry. That's the main.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, that's the main thing is that you were wrong. So in the things that you didn't take into account is that you actually knew who you were going to be in your next life. That was a question you didn't ask. Therefore, you could have set up a trust fund,
right,
and got your money back. And then it was also your chance to live out as that TV show, The Pretender, where he got to work like 1,000 different jobs in his lifetime. So I mean,
is that the show I was thinking of?
It very well. I don't know, but it was an old show. It didn't last very long because it wasn't very good. I enjoyed it.
I was close to choosing that.
Yeah.
Because
well,
I wanted to ask if I aged over those 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's the other question.
Yeah, you do.
Because it would really suck living in a bed for 900 years.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And it's not like you age like. Trying to think of somebody who didn't age.
Vampire.
Vampire. No, it's not like Nope. You're just a 1,000-year-old man.
Oh,
and with all your money and nothing to do.
Exactly.
So,
you got plenty of money.
Cryogenics, though.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, with all your money.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
That could be a cyborg or something.
Cyborg. Oh, I didn't think about that.
We don't know what will happen 1,000 years from now.
It's true.
So
it's true.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Well, Jason, thank you so much for being on with us and playing that fun little game, but also dropping a whole bunch of knowledge on us with the mobile designs, putting your article up on showitdesign.com. I encourage people to go out and check that out, definitely before they get into the process, as well as if you're in the process and you're stuck.
For sure.
Check that out. Some really good tips. And then
and that's a great place for people to ask questions too, because that's going to be archived. There's going to be a place where you know where to go to find the questions to those to that mobile design. So if you guys have questions, feel free to comment on that showithere.com post.
Definitely, that's great.
Yeah,
great
good point.
Before we head out, we do want to announce on Thursday
show.
The show is changing again to 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
We're going to be talking again about mobile.
That's like this time on Thursday.
Yeah. And then do you want to talk about what's happening next Tuesday?
Oh, so next Tuesday we're going to have Melissa Jill on the show. Yes. She will be so this is kind of a big deal. She's going to be our first local guest with the new desk.
Ooh. Okay.
So when I hit the awesome new desk, I destroyed the audio.
The audio somehow breaks like every show.
And it's usually my fault. So, bam, bam, bam. It'll be our first show with the new desk.
Melissa Jill is going to be talking about album design.
Album design, which I think is huge.
Which is awesome because we have all these weddings that were just shot, and now people are getting into like the process of albums and album design and stuff.
So in other parts of the nation, this is weird to me. In Arizona, we don't shoot during the summer.
No.
It's too hot. So weddings and stuff come up and we're like, oh, what state? And if they say Arizona, we're like, we know other people who like to photograph sweat. But in other parts of the nation, this was kind of a busy season, and it's toning down, and so they're going into their real heavy post production part of their business, which becomes album design. And Showit slideshows.
A lot of editing, slideshows, plus sites, like posting plus sites for clients, and albums is a huge thing.
Yeah, so albums and why it's key to have Melissa Jill on talking about album design is she actually works a lot with album design. She does workshops where they feature or they focus heavily on the album design part of it. She also has an album design part of her company.
Service,
an album design service.
Yeah. So if you're looking to have it be able to pass off the photos and have an album design done. She will also be talking about what that involves and everything. So,
yeah. So that's next Tuesday.
Yes.
This upcoming Thursday, we're going to give away the Site House Go Live.
We're going to announce the winner of that, so be sure to enter.
Announce the winner chicken dinner. There may actually be a chicken dinner.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm unaware. I haven't read all of the rules. And then we're also we may even showcase a site that we have gone from full-blown standard landscape to a vertical mobile layout. There's stuff. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yep.
We're good.
Perfect. All right,
Awesome.
well, guys, thanks again for joining us. Thank you to Jason Toevs and his awesomeness for joining us. Check out blokesdesign.com. He's got all sorts of great stuff. They actually have all sorts of great stuff with one-day mobile site conversions coming up. So definitely check that out. And stay tuned here for all things mobile, all things Showit coming up in the near future.
Yeah. We'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.